We're all aware where babies come from, I suppose. But I bet most of you guys might not know the development that a baby goes in the mother's womb. I'm sure most of you guys might have brothers, sisters. Most of you guys, well, some of you guys might be parents yourselves. So we've all heard some kind of experience that a pregnant mother goes through. But we've never really heard the baby side of the story, right? Like, we hear the mother saying, oh, I have morning sicknesses, I have craves and aches, or this is the best thing that's ever happened to me. But we've never really heard the baby side of the story. So do you guys ever wonder life inside of the mother's womb? Well, I think today we should take the time to learn something about it. So I too have experienced pregnancy, not of my own though. So I've experienced pregnancy by getting involved with my cousin's pregnancy period term. So I was able to witness and experience the beauty of life growing inside of the mother's womb. After undergoing this experience, I was able to appreciate and admire the development of the babies. So the 3 terms of the beginning of life. We all know that 9 months is a pretty long topic to talk about. So today I will be talking to you guys about 3 main, some of the developments and the highlights of within these three stages. So now to introduce my first point, the first trimester. The first trimester begins by week 1 and ends approximately by week 13. So according to the Mayo Foundation for Medical and Educational Research that was published in 1998 and updated in 2013, fertilization happens within the 3rd week of the first trimester. And for those of you guys who might not know, fertilization is when the egg meets with the sperm inside the fallopian tube, just right there. So also after fertilization happens, the cells travel down, make its way to the uterus, and which later split up into 2 cells, and the inner cell forms into the embryo, which is also known as your future baby, and the second, which is a membrane, which is also, like in the future, the water bag, the baby bag. So some of the highlights of the first trimester is, according to Charles J. Lockwood, MD, by the 11th week, babies start to develop fingernails. So that's cool. So now that you guys know a little something about the first trimester, I will now be moving on to the second. The second trimester begins at about week 14 and ends approximately week 24. So according to the Strong Mom Pregnancy book, during the second trimester, a lot of stuff start happening. That's when all the organs and all the cool things start to happen. So also by the second trimester, the babies start to develop some kind of senses, whether it's hearing senses or taste. So by the second trimester, that's when your baby starts to develop some kind of breathing experience. So in the future, when they're out. Also by the second trimester, since they've developed some kind of the 5 senses, your baby can it can recognize the mother's voice. So if you guys ever seen a pregnant lady that starts talking to their belly and all of a sudden it starts kicking, well, it's because it can recognize. So also by the second trimester, your baby starts looking more like a baby and less like a sea monkey, like in the first trimester. And according to Mayo Foundation for Medical and Research, by the 16th week, babies, like I said, they start developing some of the 5 senses. So they start developing the taste. So while being in the water bath, right here, they have this thing called the amniotic fluids. And the babies find this some kind of sweet taste to it. So the reason they suck their thumb is because they like the taste, and also because they're trying to get some practice, so after birth, they could be ready for nurture, whether it's breastfeeding or bottle feeding. So now that you guys know a little something about the second trimester, let's move on to the third. The third trimester begins by week 25 and ends on the birthday, week 40. According to the Mayo Foundation for Medical and Educational Research, by the third trimester, you already have like nearly a fully developed baby. So by the third trimester, your baby has widely opened his eyes and they could detect light, and also their pupils conscript and also dilate. So I don't know about you guys, but have you guys ever wondered how the sex of the baby is developed and formed? I have. So I did some kind of research on it. So although the gender of the baby is determined by the second trimester, the sex of the baby is formed by the first trimester. So here we have the 3 pictures, right? And the first one is how the sex organs look by the 11th week of the first trimester. So in the beginning, it looks the same. And we have the 2 main ones, which is the genital tuber, and the second one, which is the labioscrotal. So if it's gonna be a boy, the genital tuber pops out, so because it's a little part, and the number 2, the labioscrotal, come down. So that's why they have little scrotum. And for the females, the genital tuber will sink in, and the labioscrotals will come out. So that's the reason why females have internal sex organs and why males have external sex organs. And when the mother undergoes the ultrasound, this is how it looks like. This is what the doctors see. So for the males, you have like an angle kind of thing, and for the women, it's kind of parallel. So now that we've accomplished pregnancy, these are some of the ways. These are some of the points about the 3 terms. So today we've learned some of the things that babies go through in the mother's womb and some of the highlights. So for those of you who might know somebody who is pregnant or see a random lady in the street with a pregnant belly, you guys are now aware and know some of the things and some of the highlights about a mother. So congratulations.